gentlemen, Big E review things in anticipation, again, of the release of Disney's The Little Mermaid live-action adaptation. We're going to look back at the Disney live-action remakes of the past 10 years or so. Mm-hmm. So, if we're actually looking at their live-action adaptations, there's been a few, actually even in the 90s. 101 Dalmatians, there was a live-action one. I don't know if you vaguely remember that. There was a Jungle Book remake a long time ago. Alice in Wonderland, Sorcerer's Apprentice. Maleficent was probably one that you remember. Yeah. It's not really a remake.
No, not a remake.
It's sort of kind of like a different perspective kind of story, prequel type of thing. But in 2015, we got our first of what we would consider these live-action remakes of Disney classics, with the release of Cinderella. Mm-hmm. Did you guys watch that? Did anybody watch that?
You're the big Disney fan, right?
I am the big Disney fan. I did not watch this. I heard this one was okay. Again, I think what we'll talk about as we move on is this was at least appropriately a much older movie that actually, although as famous as it was, perhaps a new generation hasn't seen it.
No, but there have been a lot of Cinderella remakes. I mean, there was one with Drew Barrymore called Ever After.
Not officially licensed by Disney. Again, Disney doesn't own the rights to the Cinderella story, and so I think it has been, unlike some of these other the characters that they create, then they are holding trademarks for them forever. So Cinderella's. The next one is probably the high water mark of the live-action remakes for me, which is The Jungle Book.
Yes.
Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book. Did you watch that?
I did.
Yeah, Christopher Walken as the big ape. Bill Murray as the bear.
Yep.
Baloo and yeah, I thought that was pretty good, and it was supposed to be quite revolutionary because he filmed everything, I think, on like green screen at the time, and it was very photorealistic, which was probably bad because people enjoyed it enough that it's like, oh yes, Jon Favreau, let us give you then the remake keys to our most beloved and one of our best movies ever, The Lion King.
Yeah.
And so Jungle Book was pretty good. I actually did really enjoy it. If you haven't seen Jungle Book, that one's actually pretty worth watching. But again, on that same line, the original came out in 1967. I haven't seen the original Jungle Book. Like, I know the characters and stuff, but I haven't seen the original Jungle Book, so this is good. Again, introducing it to a new generation.
So, but you're saying, okay, here's a 1967 movie, animated, drawn by hand. Instead of redoing it in 3D or re-releasing it, you're saying they're thinking, let's just do a live action remake. So,
even though mostly this was digital.
Well, that's what I mean. Is it like what do we even mean by live action remake? It's like they're famously done. The Lion King was somewhat panned because it, in some ways, because it was basically there was nothing real about it.
I have my criticisms of that Lion King one, and it's not really necessarily just about the CG-ness of it. I think CG can be a good tool when it's used well. I think this is a good example. The Jungle Book was pretty good, that it was CG, but, because of, the bigger-than-life nature of some of these characters, like the big orangutan, Christopher Walken's character, like, you can't really do that with just a big ape, which was the problem with Lion King. We'll get to that.
Well, my memory of the Jungle Book was the one with Jason Scott Lee back in the 90s.
Ooh. Who's in Mulan?
And played Bruce Lee in...
Released in 1994?
Yeah.
Richard Kipling's The Jungle Book?
Yeah.
I don't think I watched that. And then in 2016, there was Alice Through the Looking Glass. Don't remember that. But 2017, Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson.
Made a lot of money.
All of these have made a lot of money. That is why Disney is continuing to pump them out, despite mostly negative critical reaction to all of them.
Is it negative critical reaction?
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Or is it just...
Me? I'm the biggest Disney fan here. No, I think generally it has been not very well received. Mixed at best, I would say, is probably the most of these. And so this was the one where people began to finally start asking, why? What are you adding to the conversation? Now, this is a movie that was released in 1991, the original Beauty and the Beast. The animation still holds up very, very well.
It's classic.
It was the first animated movie to be nominated for a Best Picture at the Academy Awards. and it still holds up very, very well. So why are you doing this in live action, and what is it bringing to the table?
So your formula is basically the only reason they're doing it is ding, money.
I really think so.
Right? Because they're basically copying line from line, all the lines.
No, I wouldn't say money. I would probably go with the money obviously is a factor, but maybe they're just no ideas, right? And they're running out of stories to tell, and they're like, okay, let's just tell some old classics, but we'll do it differently.
I mean, those are your point of no new ideas. They need more money, and obviously kind of bringing it to a new audience. I can think of those three reasons. Yeah. Right?
Well, and the audience, unfortunately, in the past decade or two, really has shown an affinity towards remakes, reboots, sequels, and basically away from original IPs. And so maybe that's another thing. They know it's bankable to...
Well, it's hitting the crowd that grew up watching.
Yeah.
When I think Beauty and the Beast was released, we were... you were young,
very young, yeah.
And you remember these are core memories for you, and they're trying to reignite them,
so that we bring our kids.
Yeah, we bring our kids, and it brings a new. I mean, it begs the question: why don't they do more Mickey Mouse? I mean, he's the flagship character. I don't see no remakes of his stuff, and even in movies.
There is in cartoons.
Yeah, a little kid in a Mickey Mouse clubhouse, but like they're not bringing it to the big screen.
Would you watch a movie like a 2-hour epic of Mickey Mouse?
I mean, they just did Mario. Why can't they do Mickey Mouse? He's the guy on every single thing for Disney, or Donald Duck. Why don't they do that and make a new story for him instead of retelling Beauty and the Beast and kind of,
I think they're losing the trademark to Mickey Mouse soon, which is a huge deal.
How do you lose a trademark for your main character?
Because that's how trademark laws work in the States. That they've already extended it way longer than it should be. I think this year they lost the rabbit. What is the rabbit called? Oscar? I don't know.
Clearly he wasn't important.
No, that was the original character that Walt actually drew.
Yeah.
That became Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
But the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse, I think in the next 3-4 years, is going to fall out of copyright. That other people can take the characters. And this is already starting to happen, right? Because they just lost the one for Winnie the Pooh, which is why there was that horror movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey or whatever.
I didn't know that.
Some of these characters now are finally stepping out of trademark.
Yeah, because Winnie the Pooh wasn't done by Disney.
It's not them,
but Mickey Mouse was drawn by Disney. So.
I know, but there's still a rule about that. There's still a rule, even though you create it. I don't exactly know the details, but I do remember reading that. But from the commentaries I've read,
Star Wars and Marvel to take up the iconic,
Yeah, there will be a Mickey Jedi.
Mickey Jedi, So.
There is already a Mickey Jedi.
There is. I have a plush of it. I have a plush of that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But back on track here. I guess the powers that be, they're trying to figure out a way to keep these big stories in our imaginations.
Yeah, and so the next one that was released was Christopher Robin. I don't remember that.
Oh yeah,
that's a bit different though. There's no Christopher Robin Renaissance Disney movie.
Yeah. So the next one, Tim Burton, 2019, Dumbo.
That was universally panned, man.
Again, most of these kind of were, and we'll get into the next universally panned one. Did you watch Dumbo? I didn't watch Dumbo.
I did not watch
Dumbo.
But again,
the first one is such a tearjerker.
I know, but 1941 it was released. Right. That is a long time ago. The animation is quite dated. I could see, someone saying, maybe it's easier to introduce the kids nowadays to something.
Controversy with the crows.
Controversy with the crows from the original, which I guess they probably removed from.
I'm assuming.
I would assume again.
But are you basically saying? Are we saying here that it's the format that we don't like, or the fact they're remaking them?
Yeah, I think the motivation is just soulless.
Yeah. That's a good word.
It is just these movies, especially again, we're now entering the next two is Aladdin and Lion King,
and Mulan. You forgot that one.
I'm ignoring that one for now because Lion King and Aladdin are 2 of the 4 in the peak Disney Renaissance, which again the opposite of soulless had just so much heart, so much it's so beloved, and you're remaking Aladdin. Replacing Robin Williams with Will Smith, who can't sing nearly as well as Robin Williams, and what are you adding? Aladdin was my favorite movie growing up as a kid.
I think they'll say it's just a different take. We all have different preferences, right? It's not better. I think they'll argue something. It's not better for worse. It is
worse.
It is worse.
That's what I'm saying. I can and have shown my kids the original Aladdin. Right, it was 1992. I mean, at time of release,
I mean, that still holds
less
up. It still holds up.
It still holds up so well. So it's confusing. Why was this made? Money, I guess. Soulless. And then Lion King. We'll talk about Lion King now a little bit. Jon Favreau again did so well with Jungle Book. They were like, here, yes, let's do more animals. Here, you do more animals and make more money. I mean, this was the A-list stars kind of came out for this one. You got huge names.
Beyonce.
Beyonce, and she had a song for it, which was very forgettable. I don't remember it. But my problem with this was in the original cartoon, the characters were so expressive because they were cartoons.
Yeah.
The eyes were bigger, and you're able to emote with them because they have. They can emote with their mouths more and their facial expressions. Okay. But they decided here to make real live animals.
So that's there's two things.
Fake
right?
real live animals.
Motivation and then the methodology.
Yeah.
And now we're moving to methodology. It's
right.
like, why make it a photorealistic lion?
Right.
You're either going to get a real lion or make a cartoony lion, which then it's like, is that a live action remake? So that's a problem I have with The Lion King because they chose a project that has no humans involved.
Yeah.
Right? So at least Jungle Book, you have one kid.
Yes.
So he's filming with digital things and they can't put him beside a real panther, so fine.
Right.
But The Lion King, why make it a photorealistic lion he can't emote because he just doesn't look like that? And the crow and apparently in Little Mermaid, what's it called? Flipper. Is it Flipper? Flounder looks horrifying.
I've heard that.
He's a little cute yellow thing.
Yeah.
But he looks like a monster in this one. And Sebastian looks like a monster too.
Because Flounder has his eyes forward.
Yes.
As opposed
you can't
to
have
fishes,
that.
Yeah, but they're going to do that. They're going to ruin all these characters, and he's going to be talking weird, and they're going to get a celebrity to do all the voices as opposed to actual good voice actors.
Yes.
So there's a lot of problems I see with all these movies. They just there's two things: the motivation, why soulless, and then methodology. Like it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a good breakdown of it. Yeah,
right?
I agree.
How did they? And then for I don't know if we're going to this territory, but Mulan, did they even have Mushu?
No,
they didn't have them, right?
Because there's something about dragons and having dragons being shown to Chinese people that they thought was insensitive. So they had a.
I'm Chinese.
I
wasn't. I didn't watch it. To be fair, but which is too bad because in Mulan. Well, so between that there was Maleficent sequel doesn't count. Lady and the Tramp. I don't even know that.
Don't remember that.
Anyway, Mulan then was next, and I didn't watch Mulan.
It was so bad. It's not just soulless; it's misguided.
Right.
It takes everything.
It changes.
It's everything that Mulan was good at. They just took away. They took away the comedy. They took away the fantasy with the dragon.
Yeah.
The actress is clearly. It's one of those castings which is like. Clearly looks like a supermodel.
Yeah.
No man would believe she's a man. Right? And it's a very serious take on the character. Everything misfired about this. So misguided. It's not just soulless, it's misguided.
Right.
That's my problem with some of these things. They're just like, why? Yeah, sure. Why was this made? But if you're going to make it, why deviate so much from the Disney?
And they got rid of the songs.
They got rid of the
songs. That's a big no-no. And that's one of the reasons I didn't watch it. I mean, some of the songs were great. Be a Man is fantastic. Right?
They made a very historical
reflection
take on the character, I guess, but it had to kind of please certain countries.
Yeah, this was very much an appeasement to the Chinese market, I guess, right? And kind of
did not do well,
and they did not show up.
Did they? Was it released there though?
Yes.
Okay. Not much else to say, I guess, about Mulan. Just, I mean, I feel that the Lion King, even before Lion King, Aladdin was just, okay, now you're starting to make really bad decisions, and Lion King was worse, and Mulan was worse. And then after Mulan, Cruella was actually nominated for some Academy Awards. But
again, Cruella's not...
different, right? Yeah, because it's not exactly
it's
a remake.
It's in the same... That's the Maleficent thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Different perspective.
And then just last year, Robert Zemeckis released Pinocchio, which was fairly universally panned as well. Tom Hanks was in it, and it was universally panned. Did you guys even watch it? No, I didn't either, because there was a much better Pinocchio that was released by Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, that did help the same year.
Yeah, that was much better. And then upcoming is Peter Pan and Wendy. No, not upcoming. It's been released. It's on Disney Plus, I think.
Peter Pan and Wendy.
And also, a lot of the scenes were shot at the Faroe Islands, which I just visited. But then I'm not watching it. I might watch it for the scenery, but nobody's even talking about it because it's so bad.
Is it a retelling?
I don't know.
Is it a Peter Pan?
I think it's not doing the exact same Peter Pan story.
Okay.
Yeah.
But see, that in terms of again that motivation part, at least is a bit more interesting. If you're telling a new story.
Yeah, I'm okay with them telling a new story, but
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to even tread in that area because what are they going to do? Beauty and the Beast, where he's not a beast, it's about him being a prince. Like they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas because the whole story's gone, right? So they're going to always do the reimagination of it.
Which brings us to why we are here in the first place. The final of the 4 Renaissance kind of super movies in the 90s was Aladdin, was Lion King, was Beauty and the Beast, and the first one that kicked it all off was The Little Mermaid.
Ooh, yes.
A great movie, holds up extremely, extremely well. This is tough, but I would say it has probably the best overall music of those 4 movies. Lion King is great because Circle of Life is amazing.
Hakuna Matata?
Those are kind of like fun songs, but I mean, like Part of Your World is like
That's a
super iconic song, right?
Under
the Sea. yeah.
Simpsons.
Even Ursula's song's good.
Ursula's song is great. I think Ursula may be one of the best villains of Disney. That's my hot take, and we can talk about that. And that song is great, even though, again, all of them actually had very good songs. Scar had a really
let's
good song
face it,
too.
all 4 of those movies are pretty much flawless.
They're perfect movies.
They're very... It was like, they're never going to recapture that, that magic.
And yet they're trying. So here we are. They're remaking it. What is to be said here? Disney owns Marvel and... no, not Marvel. Disney owns... they just released... Yeah, Marvel. They released Wakanda Forever, which was a lot of underwater culture. And then they also released Avatar Way of Water. Another more underwater civilization people. And now the same studio is releasing The Little Mermaid.
I'm not worried about the underwater part, the CGI part. I'm just worried that it's a repeat of what we just talked about, which is like when they said Melissa McCarthy was cast as Ursula, I'm like, that to me just says it all.
Right.
Like, okay, let's go with a popular comedian.
Yeah.
And she'll kind of be bombastic and, but I just don't think it'll be.
I mean, interesting you say that because that whole thing was kicked off by Aladdin when they cast Robin Williams as an amazing kind of side character. They were like, oh, maybe every movie needs one of these. And then so going forward after that, you kind of had that, but it was all just, wait, that's not what made it good. The most famous one is, of course, they hired Jason Alexander to be one of the statues in Gargoyles for Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is this super serious movie about like infanticide and lust and like eternal damnation. And then you have Jason Alexander, George Costanza hamming it up and joking as a gargoyle because they were like, oh,
but that was after the Renaissance. It started dipping fast with Pocahontas and all these other so
and
movies.
even Mulan was there, and so Eddie Murphy, and they were like, oh, just comedians as side characters make money. And it's like, oh, but that's not actually...
It doesn't work for everyone.
That's not why it worked. And so, when you say Melissa McCarthy as Ursula...
Like, okay, but back to Little Mermaid, why isn't this not going to work? It's okay. Well, I'm not worried about CGI at all. I'm worried about...
Well, here's the thing. I actually watched The Little Mermaid yesterday. Or, day before yesterday. Or this week.
Okay.
Right? And... one of the things I really enjoyed about it was the charm and the funness. Like, it was a fun movie, right? Especially when you're looking at under the sea and you see all the sea creatures interacting. It's like, oh, there's a crab, there's a seahorse, here's a starfish.
But they can still have that here, right?
Yeah, but how is that going to translate? Because remember,
I know
they're using bright colors in a cartoon, which you can. But in a real life, remember, the sea is dark. Right? Like, I've seen Titanic many times. It's dark. Right? So
they'll brighten. I'm not worried about the brightness level, but Sebastian,
no, I think that's a very good point.
But Sebastian is going to look terrifying. Flounder is going to look terrifying.
Because they're going with like a real crab.
And what, he's going to be like talking out of a small mouth? Like, it's going to look so bad. I mean, I just... with a French accent, he was played by.
No, he was a Jamaican accent.
Oh, who's the French guy? Oh, the French chef.
The chef.
That
was Odo.
Louis.
He was Rene.
Oh, was it? Or Rene over?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Odo.
Yeah. But yeah, he was the chef. Look it up. Les Poissons.
Yes.
And I just think, like, how are they going to capture any of this?
Les Poissons was Be Our Guest. Same melody, same tune.
Okay.
Do you think it's because, like, they tried to do...
Are there songs in this?
You cannot take...
She sings.
She does sing. Yeah. But, like, I think Aladdin, they tried to make a little bit, capture the funness with Will Smith, and the main character was a little bit more of a goofy character, like Aladdin's supposed to be. But this one, I feel like they're going to go with a serious route. I mean,
it's interesting you bring up Aladdin. Again, it was one of my favorite movies. I watched it many times as a kid. I also watched the Broadway production of it. I don't know if you saw it. It's that, again, takes a completely different interpretation. Aladdin actually has like 3 friends that he hangs out with, and then and the genie is a very unique take. But Will Smith is clearly trying to do Robin Williams, and is Melissa McCarthy going to be channeling animated Ursula? Is she gonna sing?
I think so.
Can she sing? Oh my goodness, that's such a fantastic song. Poor Unfortunate Souls.
She'll do it. She'll do it.
S-tier villain songs of Disney of all time.
But like, I just don't know. I'm trying to picture the Little Mermaid, all the scenes and the wonder, the magic, and I think I'll capture some of it. You're going to hear part of your world.
Yeah. She seems like a good singer.
Yeah, I think so.
The actress, yeah.
And so I don't know.
So if we're talking about the methodology or the motivation for it, whatever. Still just money and soulless. But are we worried also? You're saying you're also worried about the execution a little bit.
I definitely am. I definitely am. After seeing what they did with the others, unless they go in the different direction, like they'll make these fish look really cartoony and bright.
Yeah,
which they're not going to do it.
We've seen that they're not. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just going to look like the fish that you see in aquariums, but talking to you.
Because you saw the Lego set for this.
Yes, I did.
And it's funny because
the fish terrifying.
Yeah, I actually think that I saw comments on that because I bought my daughter, Little Mermaid Lego sets from the animated ones, and Flounder's bright, it's cute. Sebastian's cute, and this new set apparently not so cute. Not so cute. So I think your worries might be warranted there. I don't know if there's much more to say. I think it's so unfortunate that Disney has to feel like a company that, again, at its highs, output some of the best animated movies of all time. Like these are movies that we will remember for the rest of our lives. Those Renaissance movies, that the 4 that we saw, and these ones are just, we'll forget them.
Yeah.
The day after we watch them.
I mean, I know I seem like I'm nitpicking here, but I just would think, couldn't you just do the live action, but with like half cartoony characters, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Like it was like a real person with a cartoon.
You have to go all the way. You can't go half and half. You either do live action, go all the way, or don't do it at all.
But my point is, it's not live action. The Lion King it's not real animals. So if you're going to animate the animals anyways, make their eyes a little bit bigger. Make them look like they can talk and they're cute, and they can interact with people.
Would you rather they do the Maleficent route and kind of tell related stories or different perspective stories?
But again, the 4 movies you're talking about, they all have a good ending. So it's not like you can do part 2.
It's all very self-contained.
Right.
Well, they have done part 2 for all of them.
Yeah, Return of Jafar.
Yeah, and Aladdin 3, The Prince of Thieves.
Oh no, I didn't.
Nobody watched that. His father comes back.
Oh, wow.
He has a father. I think I don't remember that.
Wait a minute, he was not
Little
an orphan?
Mermaid had a sequel too.
Little Mermaid had sequels. Lion King had multiple sequels.
I don't remember this stuff.
Yes.
1.5 or something.
Yeah. And then Beauty and the Beast. Oh, it had sequels.
How could it have a sequel? He's not even a beast anymore. Beauty and the Man.
Beauty and the Guy.
Beauty and the Prince.
No, it did. I mean, this was back in the era where Disney was doing direct to video sequels.
Yeah, and those didn't do well. That's why they're redoing it, right?
And Bob Iger, that was one of Bob Iger's things. When he came in, that was one of his... I think he had like 5 or 6 mandates, and it was like, immediately, we are stopping all direct-to-video stuff just because quality is not representative of what the company we want to be.
Fine.
And ironically, now we're doing live-action remakes that the quality...
No, again, but sorry, we're tangent here.
Yeah.
But like Toy Story 2 was supposed to be direct to video.
Right.
Yeah.
But that movie was, I think,
It was an amazing movie.
Well, that had its own production problems where they almost lost the entire movie or something, and then it was saved by like one single backup or something.
Yeah, that's right. Some employee
just had one set aside.
Backup. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that it's going to make a lot of money. I think Little Mermaid. Why can't it make a lot of money?
I don't know. I wonder what the box office. Rob, you want to look at the box office returns for the last few? Like Mulan. Oh, but Mulan was released Disney Plus.
Yes.
During the pandemic. So
during the pandemic, but Aladdin made a lot of money.
Yeah, it did.
It did, right?
And Beauty and the Beast, I know, made a lot of money.
It made $1 billion, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Did it make?
So box office, Aladdin made $1 billion.
$1 billion.
That's crazy.
That's same level as like
Beauty and the Beast made 1.26 billion. Lion King made 1.6 billion.
1.6 billion. That's almost $2 billion.
And so who cares if it's soulless?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
If the fish freak you out, this will make $1 billion.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I like your point a lot. I mean, mine is a little bit nitpicky with what the fish look like, but to me, the medium is the message. Like,
yeah.
So if you're going to spend all this time designing these characters, and then just let's make a photorealistic fish.
So
it doesn't
let's see
make
this.
it work.
Aladdin made over $1 billion. Beauty and the Beast made over $1 billion. Lion King made over $1 billion. Will the Little Mermaid make over $1 billion?
I think so. It's as popular as those. Yeah.
It's more popular than Mulan would be, right?
Yeah.
Mulan didn't.
Yeah.
But I'm saying of of that Renaissance era, the big four. We'll call it the big four.
Okay. Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Aladdin.
I'm gonna say Little Mermaid's gonna make under 600.
Whoa!
I think it's hot take. Very hot take.
I think it's going to hit 100 million in the opening weekend.
Is it going to be released in China? Because I know China has been boycotting a lot of Disney films recently, and Disney and Marvel films.
I don't know.
So I think that will make a big influence on whether it will make $1 billion.
You're talking about
Sorry, we had some audio issues, and we're fixing it. So we were talking about whether we think
Little Mermaid's gonna be in China.
Oh, and whether
it's going to hit $1 billion.
It will hit $1 billion. But
I
you
say 600 million.
Global take
will be 600 million.
Oh my goodness.
That's going to be considered a big failure for them.
That would, yeah.
Because they're looking at $1 billion. I think they have to look at the last
for this particular movie, especially because they're running out. They can't. Well, the next one has already been announced.
Which was what?
The Rock announced the Moana remake for a movie that's like 10 years old or really, really recent, whose animation, again, holds up even if it was released today, but there will be a live-action remake. The Rock announced it.
That's extremely... is that worse, though? Because it's taking something kind of mediocre, but recent...
Moana was one of the better ones.
Okay,
recently.
Mulana, Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Fine, it's like here.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I think it's almost like less egregious to do that versus taking this and then dropping it down to level.
But again, it's that same conversation, right? They have the big crab. It's just going to be a big crab. They're just going to scale up a crab. With all the gold and stuff?
Well, yeah. I guess
the methodology. So. And like Maui in proportion, like in shape and silhouette, is recognizable as a huge guy. It's just going to be Dwayne Johnson, right?
Okay, my point is that I think for me, if the crab looks more cartoony, then I'm okay with that. But if it's just like a crab that I'm eating at the Chinese restaurant, and it doesn't work for me. It's just weird, So.
And I think it's equally weird that it's just going to be The Rock as Maui, because that's what it's going to be. It's just going to be him, and
he's going to shoehorn his kids in.
So much of that like character of that charm, because it's animated, the movements and stuff will have to be lost because it's just The Rock.
That's what my point is.
Yeah.
Either you have 2D flat animation. Why don't you make it 3D like with CGI?
Yeah.
This is something.
But they can't because this one was already 3D.
Exactly.
CGI.
So that's a different example. But Little Mermaid, we translated to the 3D screen where Ariel is a 3D character. But this is like, I don't know. Maybe they think it's too close to 2D. So that's like, okay, let's just do it. It's a weird thing. I just don't understand it.
Okay. So predictions on Little Mermaid. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us plan to watch it.
Well, maybe. I think we're gonna watch it. Our kids are gonna want to watch it. Your kids are gonna watch it, especially your kids.
Yeah, I mean, growing up when my daughter was very young, her favorite princess was Ariel and the Little Mermaid, and she loved the Little Mermaid. expect to bring her to this?
I don't know. We said that about Mario, but you guys went to watch Mario anyways with your kids. So.
And we enjoyed it.
I enjoyed Mario. I don't expect to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Anyway, any other closing thoughts?
No,
This is bleak.
But besides Mario, are they doing Pocahontas and like these other ones? Are they gonna
Pocahontas would be a bit dicey for them.
No, that's very sensitive.
Very sensitive.
Very
They
sensitive.
really should do a Hunchback. That's one that needs because it needs redemption, right?
Okay, Hunchback is a sleeper, amazing movie.
Okay.
No. Well, yes, and I think Princess and the Frog was also really good too.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Are they going to remake that one?
I hope so.
That was the last traditionally 2D animated movie that Disney released.
Yeah, and I watched it in the theater. I remember.
It was a good movie. I don't know what else they're going to.
But that one, I don't know. That could be remade. I think that could be. But they have like little cute characters in it.
But then it'll just be a frog. It'll be a real frog. No big eyes. No talking. Just kind of,
But that.
Yeah, but then in live action, like whoever's playing, Tiana would actually be, this is pretty gross.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you can actually have that effect.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Are you excited about Little Mermaid? Is there somebody out there that is?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are.
Are they? Yeah.
I think so.
I know a lot of people love The Little Mermaid. The Venn diagram of these two circles may not actually overlap. The people who love Little Mermaid and the people who are excited for the upcoming live action remake. I'm not sure what the overlap is. But
there's going to be a curiosity that they're going to want to watch it.
Right.
I think so.
Okay. $1 billion. 600. I don't have an estimate. I'm not good with these things. I think it'll make money. Yeah, I think it'll make $1 billion.
I think easily.
I think so. It's just crazy. All right, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about all of these remakes. Maybe one of these were your favorites. Maybe there's a hidden gem in there that you like that we didn't mention or we didn't talk about, we didn't appreciate. And until next time, keep watching scary fish and crab monsters in the sea.
This guy. Thanks for all your support. Do comment, like, subscribe. We all appreciate it very much.
All right, thanks.